How you doing, Pisces? Try to make this one a bit quicker for you. Give me Celtic Cross for Pisces. The Emperor. You can have Aries within your chart. You can be a Pisces Aries cusp. You are in your strength and power. Three of Pentacles. What is the current immediate challenge? Is the Three of Pentacles. You want to work together with a Queen of Cups. You want to work together with someone that you have deep emotions for. Someone who has the Queen of Cups energy can be a water sign within their chart as well. But causes of your situation, I feel like, did you fall for somebody, Aries? And now you want to work with someone. Wow, you want to talk. You're going all over the place. Past situation, Five of Wands in reverse. You want to come out of conflict and competition. Maybe in the past you were coming out of some kind of fight or competition. Can be seen as like avoiding conflict, respecting other people's differences, possibly agreeing to disagree. And in the past, you don't want to fight or argue with anybody. You want to respect the differences and autonomy of other people that you're dealing with. You know, you don't want to compete in any way with someone that you consider that you would rather have them as a partner than a competitor and someone to compete against. Maybe there was some game playing in the past, or maybe there's some kind of sense of competition. Who says what first? Who shows who they like first? Perhaps you're waiting on each other to give each other a reach, like you're waiting on the other to reach out, but you found that nobody did. And now you're sitting here wondering, having everything like your kingdom and castle rolled over, and now you want to work with somebody that you didn't want to work with before, or you wanted to work with before, but you just didn't. You wanted them to show you first, and it was some kind of competition, but now you don't really want to have this competition anymore. You want to be cooperative and work together now, because you feel like you do have deep emotions for someone, whether that you showed it, and now you're kind of regretful that you didn't. Your goals, your conscious awareness, the best that can be accomplished at present. Your goals is the Hermit, to go within. You feel like you missed an opportunity, and you feel like you're trying to ask yourself why that you played it the way that you did. And consider if kind of like these, the way you showed up in the situation was actually something that was beneficial in the end. Your goal is to just be on your own because you feel like you missed an opportunity. And that's really the best thing that can be accomplished at the moment. Go within. Learn about yourself, about the situation. Consider, like, what happened, how you feel about it. Kind of like, now, do you feel like there's something that you need to learn about yourself as to why you act the way you did when it didn't match up with actually how you felt? What's ahead of you? The Chariot. You're going towards somewhere or away from somewhere. This is a direction. You can be having a trip. You can be moving for a job. You can be wanting to leave the whole idea of working together with somebody behind, because maybe you reached out to and with some kind of gesture to try to work with them, and they didn't respond. So now you're moving ahead, you're going forward, and you're not going to stay stagnant. Why? Because you're the freaking emperor. Empress just don't stick around and do nothing. They're doers. How you see yourself. This is you, and in your position, the High Priestess, Pisces. The High Priestess is, she is a keeper of secrets and knowledge. She has many spiritual gifts, and she is deeply knowledgeable about rituals, the occult. She's deeply connected to the divine. The High Priestess knows much, but she doesn't speak. Now, she rules the unconscious, and she's extremely intuitive. They can be kind of like a bit socially awkward as well, because they have such an internal kind of life, and the relationship with connecting to the divine, and kind of took up a lot more time than actually socially interacting. And maybe the social skills for the High Priestess isn't as great, or the communication skills. The High Priestess sees all but doesn't speak. Maybe you're not speaking to this person. Maybe you feel like there's things that were left unsaid, that you have something to say in particular, but you didn't get a chance to say it. How they see you. They see you as the Empress. They see you as someone who is beautiful, abundant, fertile. They see you as someone who's very well could be, oh my goodness, look, the Emperor and the Empress as a divine counterpart. They feel that they are your divine counterpart. They feel deeply connected to you. You feel deeply connected to them. And you want to go towards them, or perhaps you drew yourself away from this situation and somebody wanted to come back and work with you now, but then you're withdrawing into yourself. It's like there was a foundation of care and affection and, a cup of emotion, but it seems like it's too much high conflict. It doesn't seem like it was a doable situation at the time, and maybe you did have to go somewhere, you had to leave, it was a long distance situation. It was like, but this is in the future, this is movement. Where are you going though? You see yourself as keeping silent, keeping secrets, keeping to yourself, internally feeling a lot but speaking little. They see you as the Empress, as a divine counterpart. And your hopes and fears of attaining the goal, the lesson to be learned blocking your development, your hopes and fears of attaining the goal. Maybe you hope to be able to not be fully attached to this situation, and you toy the idea of wanting to be fully attached and not being able to be fully attached, about sending a message and not sending a message, about dealing with the day-to-day and work life, and and perhaps there was some kind of distance, and it was like you hoped you'd be able to juggle the two, or perhaps you were in another relationship, or you had another job, other responsibilities, or like there was some kind of distance, and you were unsure if you wanted to commit. You're afraid that if you actually do reach out or make some kind of commitment or gesture, that you would go down a path that you might regret later. And that's why the decision to not make a decision kind of held you back from making a decision. And it was like, I hoped, and maybe it was better to just think about it than actually do it or make the decision to do it, because not making a decision is a decision as well. The outcome, what you will gain from these experiences, the reward or quality or tool that will help you achieve a breakthrough, putting the work in, creating skill, improving your skill and your craft, putting the work in your craft. I feel somebody wanted to come and work with you, but you're standing in your power. You're holding to yourself because, you did have emotion, and you had to go within because you felt like there was conflict. There was some kind of like movement away, or some kind of like lack of interaction, or you felt like there was a lack of enthusiasm. And maybe you kind of did this the way that you did because you wanted to see if they were actually interested or not, even if you were interested. So that's probably why that you held back. And now you feel like that you might have missed out on something, and now you're just trying to, keep your head down and focus on your work and building your craft and staying alone for a while. You're moving away from this situation. 6 of Swords. This is movement. You can be living at a distance. Maybe you're back for a while for the holidays, or or some kind of vacation. Maybe you met when they were on some kind of vacation and you lived there. Perhaps they're coming back around, you're coming back around for the holidays, and you try to reach out to them, but then you didn't get a response because deep into their own work and thought, and you definitely have some fears, regrets, and anxieties about the entire thing because you feel like you missed out. Because you wanted to see if this person actually cared. Well, Pisces, I don't know what to tell you. Because I felt like this person was kind of waiting on you in a way, and just like you were waiting on them. And they were waiting for some kind of sign as you were waiting for some kind of sign. But then, you know, I guess it was like you both took it as like maybe they took it as a lack of interest, and maybe you both felt the same way. You both felt the same way of the other, that they weren't really interested. And that's why they didn't reach out. And, you know, but does it you know, we all have some like opportunities that we miss sometimes, and we all have the what ifs within our lives. But I feel like the what ifs is like kind of like wasted time and effort, and, you know, to even think about it, because if you still wanted it, there is always time to at least tell a person how they felt and how you felt. And even if they didn't feel the same way, you know, it's just to express yourself, I suppose. And, you know, I guess people are ingrained to have a protective mechanism when it comes to actually feeling something for someone. And sometimes we revert back to some old self-defense mechanisms that kept us safe when we were children, but ended up being kind of detrimental as an adult, and definitely detrimental to our relationships. And which is that holding back. And because it's a fear of, you know, intimacy, a fear of rejection, a fear of abandonment. And it's so funny that the things that we want the most within our lives, or the things that we run away from, are the very things that we run away from. And it's like, oh, you want that great career, or, you know, like that, to start that business, and you end up never leaving that job and be regretful, and that what ifs. Or you want to talk to that person that you've been interested in but you haven't, because you're afraid of, like, you're already seeing the downfall before the even, like, the hello, you know. And as a way to, like, protect yourself from ever really getting attached, because maybe you felt abandoned in some time when you were a child, or unloved, or conditionally loved. And maybe in some kind of way you feel like if they kind of get to know you, then maybe they wouldn't be interested, so you don't want to bother to go out of the way to just be disappointed later. So this yang energy, this is like a masculine energy. This is doing, this is creating. This is going towards, this is using your hands to create. And you do it by action. And you kind of went into a situation maybe with a lot of passion and drive, but you know, like you felt like you were afraid of getting hurt, so you kind of just assumed that if they wanted you that they would contact you, even though you felt that it was fated. And beneath it all, you wanted to work with them, and you felt like it was kind of fated that you would go towards them. And, you know, and in the past, you know, that sense of competition that maybe that you showed was more of a defense mechanism than it was to, you know, like than a general disinterest, but then they took it as a general disinterest. You're standing within your power. You want to work with somebody, or somebody wants to work with you, and maybe you're moving back home in some kind of way, or you're on some vacation and for the holidays, and then you're going back to where you live. Maybe you have plans to go back home for the holidays, and that's where you met this Queen of Cups, or you have this deep emotion for this person. And you plan to go towards them, and perhaps you even reached out in the past and they didn't answer you back, and now you are kind of sad and regretful, and you're toying with the idea if you should try again. What? Look at that. You know why you were hesitant? Because there was a distance. You were unsure when you would return. You were like, there's a lot of differences within the situation, and you felt like maybe there is some kind of big age difference. Maybe you guys are from a different religion, different belief systems. Maybe there is, you know, different races, and you know, and you felt like maybe there was too much of a differences to kind of reconcile or come together with the person that you care a lot about, and maybe you listen to advice from other people and it kind of puts you on the fence. Now there is a now you know why. There you came to some kind of understanding. You were confused before, but you're coming into some kind of understanding. And maybe you're going to come into this understanding when you do return home. Something is going to be revealed to you as to why you felt so confused and on the fence. You felt the situation, you just couldn't imagine how it would be able to work out, because with all of these differences, with the spaces in between, and even though you see somebody as like the person, like your fantasy, or the person that you want to be with, like you want to be able to have the chance to at least speak your mind, and And, you know, at least to know that you at least tried to say your piece, but I feel like you were just trying to avoid the whole situation anyway. Any more advice? Just give me 3 more for advice. Oh, this is your soulmate, Pisces. Your Queen of Cups. You feel like, oh, you didn't see before. You lacked foresight into something. You were suspicious and they were suspicious of you. You both had some defense mechanisms and you felt like you were unaware of something at the time, and now, like, you feel like now this person that you want to be with or you want to go towards is like no longer thinking of you or wanting to reach out to you anymore. Observer, they're no longer looking out for you anymore, and you feel them slipping away, like their energy is kind of leaving you, and maybe that's why you're thinking about going towards them, because you're starting to feel them energy kind of slip away from you. And the person, there's no going the distance. This person is no longer looking out for you, and they're not gonna go towards you, because this isn't something that is sustainable. Maybe there is a lot of differences, and logically you know this and you feel that as well. Listen to your intuition. It's trying to tell you something. Is it because, do you want them because now that they're not receptive to you, or now that you feel them slipping away, a leg up? Your intuition is trying to give you some kind of support, is trying to tell you something. A deep knowing. There's something that you know within yourself that you kind of or don't want to see. Something that internally that you know that you were keeping within you. What is that? Because really only that you could tell me. You're kind of praying for some kind of divine intervention to give you some kind of assistance to rejuvenate the situation that you didn't think that could work out before. And intuitively you feel like you're supposed to be together anyway. And maybe you're surprised when they didn't pick up. Because they're building their own foundations. And 8 plus 2 is a 10. And that's why they're between worlds. The door just flipped open and the air went in. So, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Just ask yourself, do you want it just because they're pulling away? Because if you really wanted it earlier, don't you think you might have reached out earlier? And maybe now the pull to reach out so quickly is because you feel that abandonment, and which makes you want to chase. And is it the chase that you want? Peace. The primordial egg. This is a development. This is a growth period. This is a catalyst. This was a soulmate. You did meet a soulmate. And the point was to be the catalyst for each other in order for you to both evolve. You both had some kind of awakening after you did spend some time together, and you felt you did change each other. And that's the whole point, is that throughout this journey, we are spiritual beings living a human experience, and we have karma that we built up from past lives, because the energy never dies, it just transforms. And we've had many past lives, and sometimes, in order for our soul to evolve and grow and into the highest vibration, to be able to have that moksha, that spiritual awakening, to be no longer have to come back to this reincarnation and cycle of life and death and being one with the divine. It happens within steps within our life, and it happens through many awakenings throughout our life. And it starts off with catalysts of meeting soulmates and expelling karma between each other and built up karma from past lives, in order for us to learn about ourselves, and in order for us to put us on our path to spiritual evolution and have a deeper understanding of ourselves and the divine. I wouldn't worry about the what ifs. I feel like there was a divine reason that you two met, and I feel like you were the catalyst for each other, and it was meant to make you go within. In order to evolve and spiritually grow within yourself and your own consciousness and your own foundation and world and life. It's an evolution period. And you may be feeling this loss, but just know, it was fate. You were right about that. But it doesn't mean all because we're soulmates and it was fated that you meant is that we were supposed to be together the entire time. Sometimes when we learn the lesson, we move on, if we learn the lesson. But I'm not sure if you're able to really stay away, because you seem like you're manifesting this person really rather heavily. I think it's just important that you ask yourself honestly the intention as to why. Is it just because of the chase or the fear of abandonment, or is it really because you want a future with this person? And even if you want a future with this person, is it even really plausible if there is a distance? Because, it's important to be logical as well. Is there extenuating circumstances or differences? Because even a town away or like an hour away is kind of an issue after a while. I mean, not a town away, but maybe an hour or so away, yeah. But I guess that's what I got for you, Pisces. I'm sorry, I don't mean to ramble, but if I'm just gonna leave it here. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment below if the reading resonated. It really helps the channel and helps to get the word out and helps the algorithm get, and also there's a donation box below if you feel moved to donate to the channel, so that way, I could still keep putting this content out there. you know, feel free to do so if you're able, and if not, no worries about it. I still love you lots, and I will talk to you later. I hope that was helpful. Bye.